and welcome to tonight's episode of the John Peacock Coaches Show. I'm John Massoni here with head football coach for the Venice Indians, John Peacock. And Coach, nice to have the show tonight after a victory, 40-6 win over the Jacksonville Reigns Vikings. Tough situation maybe for them. They get the game, they come in, they travel 5 hours, rain delays, all kinds of normal stuff for September football in Florida. But otherwise, the part of their problem was they had to play Venice Indians too. We did a really nice job on Friday night going through the same adverse conditions to put a victory together.
Yeah, we did a lot of good things Friday night, but we also made a lot of mistakes. And in order to be where we want to be, we have to definitely clean that up. We put the ball on the ground again. We were inside the red zone, I believe, 4 times and came away with 0 points. And defense gave up a long score. So those are things that can't happen in a normal football game. So there's definitely some things that we need to work on. We're not where we need to be, but we're closer than we were a week ago. I think we established one. I'm real happy that we established who our quarterback is moving forward, and there's no real question about that. We were also along those lines. We were able, with that move, we're able to add, our most dynamic threat on the field, kind of anywhere we want him now.
They got to follow him around, right?
So we were able to, put Stephon in at quarterback to run a package that we have set for him, and we were able to put him at receiver, and you might even see him a little bit at running back throughout the season. But we're going to use him anywhere we possibly can to get him the ball and try to get him some touches in space, because once he gets a little bit of space, he can make some things happen.
You talked about putting the ball on the ground a few times, early in the game, especially,
right.
And and also you could see some of the tackling's a little sloppy for both teams on Friday night.
Right, that was on the long score.
Right.
We gave it a long score. We probably missed 3 or 4 tackles that play, and we are also still continue to not be real consistent on our snaps.
And then with that, live action in practices and stuff, maybe you didn't have a lot of time to get, maybe this is like still preseason-ish, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, after today's practice, I feel like we're there. I feel like now we're kind of ready to play football. Where I don't believe we were quite ready last week, and we really weren't ready the week before. But this would be the normal of, this would be the amount of practice we have before week 1 of our regular season.
Yeah, you're up to speed
and
now.
I feel like we're finally. I feel like we're finally ready to play football. We had a really good practice on Tuesday. The kids did a great job. Our offensive line is getting better each week. So I was really pleased with that. And, just our offense seems to be running a lot smoother than it has been in the past. And obviously the longer Colin is here, and the more repetitions he get, he's going to just get better and better.
Yeah, you can see that. Even though his stats weren't, lofty, they were very solid, and you could see he didn't seem uncomfortable in any situation out there in the game. He seems like he's really got a grasp of what's going on, and that's a major part of getting better for sure.
Yeah, he missed a few things during the game, but other than that, he was pretty spot on, running the offense, understanding the concepts. He does a really good job of keeping his eyes downfield and continues to try to make a play with his arm. And you'll see a couple times. There was one instance where he was getting sacked, and he, kind of found DJ to dump it off to him. DJ didn't make the catch, but just those type of plays where he's just fights a little bit to stay alive and tries to get the ball downfield. Doesn't make bad decisions. He didn't have any interceptions Friday.
No interceptions.
And he throws a good ball and makes good decisions. And like I said, he missed a few things. We missed something right before the half. And he just missed Jay Sean on an over route. But with that said, Jay Sean was like the third outlet, So, we're like, man, this guy is pretty good just to find
the third guy,
Jay Sean, in that situation where he's not really a read in that play, but to find him and just barely miss him, and we missed Wolf on the up one play, but that was because he had pressure and was getting hit. So there were 3 or 4 definite scores we left on the field, but on top of being inside the red zone and not scoring a couple times.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating.
Right. A lot of it, there was 2 early on that were because of snaps, and then we ended the half on the 2-yard line without any time. So those were disappointing. I mean, we'd like to have those, and I mean, it would have been a totally different ball game. And I hope the kids understand where we're at and where we need to be and what mistakes we made.
Yeah, 40-6 score is great.
Oh, the outcome is unbelievable.
But the process it needs to get better, and there's no doubt about that.
Right, you're right. The result was great. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I don't think Reigns has taken any kind of loss like that in the last 6 years. But absolutely, the outcome was great. Just the process of getting there wasn't perfect.
You made a few moves on the offensive line. How did that work out for you on Friday night?
Really good. Matthew Peevely is a freshman starting at guard, and he is I don't remember any other freshman ever starting on the offensive line.
No, it's you said that Ty Gauthier was a game or two. Yeah,
Gauthier, I think he started one game and played like maybe 20 snaps before we took him out. But Peevely's our guy now. I mean, he's a big, strong kid. Real excited about him. He's one of the biggest improvements this week that we had. Like I said, we're really starting to come together as an offensive line, and offensive line, there's just so many intricacies to be perfect on that. And it all starts with just your first step. And if you're not taking the first step and you're just kind of doing, Pop Warner stuff, and I'm gonna block him, it just doesn't work. Your first step is so important with your double teams and making sure you're hip to hip. And if we're not getting that accomplished, then you're going to get your double team split. Just so many things when you're pulling up. For a linebacker, we're not hugging the double team. His linebacker's gonna run underneath you. So it's not just. I think it's for young kids.
It's a mind game. It's the mental part of the game. Yeah. The techniques.
The little intricacies that make you successful.
Yeah.
Instead of just running around out there like, oh, I'm gonna pull up for linebacker. Well, it's not just that easy. You gotta hug the double team, almost scrape them, and then get to the linebacker. And those things are starting to happen. And I think we feel really good about this week.
Good. Well, 40-6 was the final score against the Reigns Vikings. Coach, we'll come back for our first break with the highlights from the game. Before we go to the commercial break, I'd like to thank Off the Wagon, as usual, for their hospitality having us here tonight to do the John Peacock Coaches Show. So once again, thanks to Tommy and his staff for everything you do for us every week. With that, we'll take a commercial break. Be back here in a few minutes with the highlights from Friday night's football game at Venice High School. See you soon.
We'd like to take a moment to thank all of our sponsors for making this show a possibility. Absolute Aluminum, E.T. McKenzie, All Pro Dads.
We'd also like to thank SCF, Douglas Jeep, and Suncoast Commercial Door and Hardware.
We'd also like to give a big shout out to Jenkins Chevrolet, a longtime sponsor of ours.
Welcome back to the John Peacock Coaches Show. And Coach, we got a bunch of highlights from Friday night. After the rain delay, we got a good football game, and so let's go to the highlights.
Let's do it.
All right.
Well, we start the game off with a Luke Wheatley kickoff that got in the end zone. And we've talked about this before, what a weapon that is when we can make the team start in the 20. And Luke's been doing a really good job in his kickoffs, and I'm not sure.
4 for 6 on his on touchbacks, and 1 kick I think you pooched on purpose, maybe?
Yes.
So
that's pretty good, 4 for 6.
Good.
We're talking, that's Zach Sessa range.
Correct.
So defensively, we did a great job up front all night. That's Elliott Washington making a play. Elliott's a sophomore. We've talked about Elliott and his upside and where he's going to be. This is the first series. We came out pretty good. The first series got down inside the 10. That was Wes Wolf. Now we see a nice play action there by Colin.
And Wes played a little tight end on Friday night.
Played a lot of tight end. So he actually is our tight end. There you go again. Nice throw, nice catch from Colin to Wes. You see Wes at tight end right there.
Yes. And you can see how Wes has put on some weight over the summer.
There's Keon Sears with a little over route. He did a good job there catching the ball. You see we got first and goal at the 4, didn't put it in.
Yeah.
And that's unacceptable. Like I said, defense played great all night except a couple plays, but those are things that you got to be consistent on and continue to make plays and not give up big long touchdowns.
Quarterback they played 2 quarterbacks. He was a very athletic, tough guy to bring down. So
they're both pretty good. They have a good ball.
12 had a good arm. Yeah.
They have a good ball team, and they got tons of speed. And you see right there, Jake Schwartz made a nice play on the quarterback. Jake had a good game for us Friday night. You see again here's Stefan. I mean he's picking up 8 yards pretty easily right there.
Yeah, they're playing way off, and
Yeah.
they see that number 7 out there. They were like, oh, here we go.
And Reigns can run. Those guys can run.
Very
Those guys
athletic.
See
Cleary.
Yeah. Cleary had a lot of opportunities Friday night. That kind of didn't seal the deal, but let's see again, Jake Swartz coming up and initially causing that tackle. But you see, we're getting to the football. A lot of people run the football, and that's what you like to see.
Yeah, they were bunched up. They couldn't get anywhere.
You see Stephon here on the speed option, and you'll see right here the speed we're talking about. It's just a little different right there.
And when he pulls away,
Yeah.
he's all of a sudden he's 10 yards ahead of you, and it's over.
He can, I always said, Stephon would be an unbelievable 200-meter sprinter in track.
I agree. There's the second. There's the other quarterback getting a sack.
You see, we did a good job. That was Cleary on the sack. Cleary and Piggins, right?
Yes, two ends came in and made a nice play.
We're doing a pretty good job getting a pass rush with our ends. You see again, Jake does a nice job taking away the outside, and Cade Rayer coming in and making the tackle, finishing up the tackle. But defense, like I said, defense played well except for a few snaps Friday night. Again, nice throw and catch by Collins. Miles Weston. Miles had 4 or 5 catches.
Yes, and you can see how Miles is really getting his hands on the ball and making the catch first. It's really, really nice to see his progression.
So there's Miles again. And these, our receivers can do a nice job with the ball after the catch.
What I'm seeing too, coaches, they're putting their foot down and going upfield.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to dance around and do something, and then they see an opening and they're taking advantage of it.
Yeah, I think this is the second game in a row where all receivers had a catch.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, that's including Stephon. So
correct.
See, there's Jay-Sean Platt. He had a nice game. He had a really nice catch in the end zone. But Jay-Sean really has done a nice job, and he's becoming
very fluid with his
smooth.
kick. Very smooth.
He's starting to be the type of player his daddy was.
Yeah, no doubt.
You see, again, defense did a great job on the run all night, except for a few plays. But again, that play where Jay-Sean was down the 5, we didn't get in. Another first and goal inside the 5, we didn't get in. This is the catch I'm talking about.
Yes.
Great job, great
body
catch.
Control, getting in front of the defender.
So they want to do a little dance together here.
They went to the sideline.
Yeah. Again, the defense was very, very tough all night long.
Linebackers played well, I thought, too. They got to the ball. Everybody was getting to the ball really well.
Great coverage there by Chuck, and that's unbelievable. You can't get much better coverage. Knocking the ball down with his off arm.
Right. That's a picture perfect how to do it.
This was a great series defensively. You see, they have second and goal from the 3. We ended up holding them out. They didn't get any points off of it.
No.
And that was great for us.
And on that play was DeSavion Castaway. He had a nice game too.
Yeah, DeSavion's doing a nice job. DJ had a nice game Friday night. Ran the ball hard. You see right there some hard running.
Yeah, he really. I think he might have had the most improvement I saw as far as his everything was concerned. He really looked good with the ball in his hands on Friday.
And we're still, we still love Dylan Turner. He's a good player for us. You see Jay-Sean again.
And one thing I was going to say real quick, you see how good the field looks. That's after a lot of rain, and it looked really nice. And a big hand to the groundskeeping crew.
I always say we probably have the best field besides the Tampa Bay Bucks in Florida. Again, these guys have got their timing down pretty good. That's a kind of unstoppable play when you have the timing down like that.
Oh, absolutely. And then you said you're looking at a receiving core that you get intermingling pieces too.
There's a nice run by DJ here.
Yeah, I said, it's one step. He's got ball. Look, you can see where he's holding that ball the right way.
Yeah.
He ain't going to get caught from behind.
Well, it's not IMG anymore.
Yeah,
So.
he was good. But no, like I said, you see, he really ran hard.
So again, we did a good job getting to the football.
And like you said, if you watch 6 for most of the game, he was breaking a lot of tackles, but he was gang tackle on almost every opportunity he had.
Good throw and catch again, Miles. Miles had a big night Friday night.
Like I said, he just looked. It's like you could see this,
all
comfortable
of them,
on the field, catching the ball right.
You look at all 5 receivers. Obviously Stephon had a big night at receiver. I mean, just with his couple of catches he had. Wes had a great night. Miles had a great night. Jay Sean had a great night. Sears had a good night.
And there were some opportunities they could have done a little bit more. Absolutely.
I mean, it's got to be fun playing on this offense if you're a skill guy.
Yeah.
Again, Jay Sean, I mean, does that not remind you of
it does
of Hiley?
Yeah, because you see him on the sideline. It's almost like it was a guarantee 6-7 yards every time.
I mean, he was covered and made catches, and like I said, I mean, his dad was a number one receiver in the country when he was in high school, and he's getting to be more and more like him every week. You see another great play by Chuck Brown.
I don't know how he caught it. I mean, I still can't see where he caught it, but it was just like, looked like it was on the ground, and he rolls up and he's got it, and there you go.
The kid shows up on film and in the games every game. You see, that's a little disappointing to.
Yeah, you're right there.
To miss that, but you see, DeSavion is more than happy to finish it off. But I would like to see us go ahead and make that play.
First man get him. Yeah.
And see, Chuck's gonna come up here, make a big hit. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. He just shows up. I mean, whether it's making an interception, fumble recovery. I mean, he just shows up.
He started 20 yards away from the play.
Yeah. He's a hustler. I mean, he's always a hustler. I mean, he's got a great motor. You'd like to see Wes keep his feet here, but like I said, Colin has really come a long way.
Yeah, perfectly waited for to open up, and there he went.
You see Dylon Turner there with the touchdown. Finally we got inside the red zone and we were able to punch it in there.
And Dylon brings a little experience too, being a senior.
He does. He has a lot of game experience. You see us doing a good job here, getting to the ball again.
Ramos,
yeah, from middle linebacker spot. That's pretty good.
But again, you see every linebacker's there.
Yes.
So it's not just one; it's all of them. And there's Stephon with another nice catch.
Oh man, that's unbelievable! Now look at the speed. I mean, that's something pretty to watch right there.
It's just, because these kids, they're expecting to make the tackle, and he just puts his foot in the ground and goes upfield, and that's that.
They're going to do a little dance again too. This is DeBrun. Happy for him. He's our third team back right now, and he does a great job. And you'll see Carson Smith come in here and finish him off.
And he didn't look good for the second string. Second, third string looked really good. And those were the highlights from Friday night, and plenty of highlights to see. We made some comments earlier about O-line getting better, and so, but you could see everybody, that game 1 to game 2, or that normally that preseason game to the first game, you could sort of see the improvement we had. Collins, the leader of the team as the quarterback. You see DJ handling the ball better, running a little harder, and the receivers look smooth. And again, of course, on defense, the little cleaner as far as the tackles were concerned.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Colin, like he came here from Illinois because they're not playing football in Illinois, and there's some connection with Venice. I'm not sure because talking to his dad, they mentioned that he had been to the St. Francis game last year when Venice played. He said, I love the atmosphere, and that's kind of, I don't know if there's a relative live here. I forget what the story was.
Grandma and grandpa. That's how it is.
Yeah, I think it was grandma and grandpa. So, but what I'm real pleased with is our locker room. Like, there's no animosity in the locker room. No one's upset that Colin's here and he's the quarterback. Stephon is like happy as you can be. So, he loves it. Like, I get to play receiver. I get to do this. I'm playing defensive back.
Think about what he gets to do every week.
Yeah.
He can play quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and he's a D-back. And so he's playing. He's in the game constantly.
And Carson Smith is a quarterback. I mean, him and Colin are hanging out, buddy. I mean, I'm just real pleased with just like our chemistry and the way our locker room's been handled, and it's just says a lot about the integrity of our kids, because that could go a totally opposite way.
Right. It says a lot about the seniors too, because the seniors are you high school football, you've been around it for a long time. Seniors sort of own the locker room in some ways.
Right.
So if they're putting the culture together where everybody's getting along, it's usually because of the seniors.
But I just it could go so many different ways with that. I'm just real happy with our chemistry. Everyone, not that we don't have problems.
Sure.
Everyone has little issues.
Kids.
But I just real happy with that. I think that's going to go a long way. And I was one of those things I was really worried about for the fact of our not having us have a regular summer, because usually that's when we really build our team.
Right.
But it turned out we had an extended summer, and we really did get that part of it. So I was real happy with that. And like I was talking to you earlier tonight, I feel like we're ready to play football now.
Yeah, no, you can see it for sure. Okay, 40-6, victory for the Indians Friday night. Moving on, next game, the Lyman Greyhounds. Lyman High School is in the Orlando area, Longwood in particular. We're heading there for a Thursday night game, which obviously is a different scenario for us. But when we come back from our next commercial break, we will preview our game for Thursday against the Lyman Greyhounds. We'll see you back here in a few minutes.
We'd like to take a moment to thank all of our sponsors for making this show a possibility. Absolute Aluminum, E.T. McKenzie, All Pro Dads.
We'd also like to thank SCF, Douglas Jeep, and Suncoast Commercial Door and Hardware.
We'd also like to give a big shout out to Jenkins Chevrolet, a longtime sponsor of ours.
And we're back here at Off the Wagon for part 3 of our show tonight. And Coach, when we went to break, we talked about our opponent this week, which is the Lyman Greyhounds. I know you don't probably know a lot about them as far as maybe some film from last year, because they haven't played a game this year.
Right. So this is our third opponent that we
played.
have no current film on. So it will be nice next week when we play Riverview and actually have some current
You may not even need
on
film
them.
for them, though. Yeah, they've seen it so many times.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's been really a different world as far as our staff and preparing and trying to assume how someone's going to line up and not be able to do our normal thing. And I feel like we do a good job as a staff for preparing our kids. So it's been kind of difficult, especially the IMG not knowing anything because there's no film
on the players,
or anything.
Right.
So, we're Googling, the head coach's name, and he's, selling whatever his passing packages. So we're trying to get that off that. So that was one of the toughest weeks we have ever had trying to prepare for a team. But Lyman is, they were 2-8 last year, so they're not a power house like we're playing, but they do have good players. They do play hard. It seems like they're very well coached. So, one thing I told the players last Friday is, the difference between a great player and just an average player and a good player is, I'm sure, a Chuck Brantley and a Ethan Moore and Colin Blaisdeck, when you're in a Damon Wilson, when you're going up to play IMG and hey, if I'm Damon Wilson, I'm going up against the number 1 offensive lineman in the country, and then I'm a Chuck Brantley and Elliott Washington and Jackson Fleming, and hey, I'm going against 3 wide receivers that are the one of the tops in the country.
Going to Alabama,
going to Florida State, going to wherever they're going. Right. And then if I'm Ethan Moore and I know I'm going against the top defensive lineman in the country, a guy going to Clemson, a guy going to Alabama, you have to mentally prepare yourself and mentally be ready to go into man, I got to be on my game. I got to do these little things right. Now, we're going to do that against IMG. You know that there's going to be a sense of, man, I got to play really well.
You're right.
Well, the difference between a great guy, a great player, and a good player is no matter who you're playing, you're going to prepare like that.
Right.
You're going to prepare like that.
I agree.
Each week, week in, week out. So if I can get a way to teach these kids to, hey, I'm going to prepare for Lyman like I prepare for IMG, we'll be great. They'll be great. They'll have success. They'll be able to do what they want to do. And as a team, as a whole entire team, we're going to have great success.
That's 100% right. Because when in the playoffs, saw it last year. We came in as a runner-up, but we kind of felt we were maybe a better team than Lehigh or other people like that. So you had to come in and you had to go out there and play like you're playing the best team in the country.
Exactly. So my point is, we're not facing a receiver going to a Power 5 conference this week. We might not be facing a receiver that's going to a Division II school this week. So Chuck Brantley could probably go into the game and just say, I'm just going to run around out here and have fun.
No problem.
And probably do pretty well. But if he approaches it like, no, I'm going to play the best game I've ever played tonight, he's going to have an unbelievable season. He's going to have an unbelievable game Friday, and it's going to show up.
Yeah.
And he's going to prepare himself for the next level. He's going to prepare himself if he learns how to do that now, he's going to prepare himself for forever as far as his football career goes.
And I look at it, looking at a team like Lyman, they're in a big metropolitan area for Florida, Orlando.
Right.
So there's got to be players in that team they're going to be that are dudes. They came up through the program, and so you're going to find kids that are going to be, you might say, we didn't know him, but man, he's pretty good. So you have to be on your game. That's one of those games. All of a sudden, you're looking around and it's 14-7 at half, and I didn't know that guy was that good. And if you're especially if you're not prepared to do that.
Correct.
So and so on offense, anything they do particularly that you're looking at, or
no, they're just real sound. They run a typical offense that what we normally see, and defensively they're even front. So it's stuff that's going to be very familiar for us. So I feel good not having the film. I know they have the same coordinators, so we have their two.
It's gonna.
We have their two games from last year. Unless they totally change something, then we'll kind of be scrambling. But if having the same coordinators, you would kind of guess they're kind of doing the same thing. So if they do, I feel pretty comfortable with how we can handle it.
So that's Thursday night, 7:00 start, Lyman High School in the Longwood, Orlando area. A little bit more about this, on all the social media platforms we have and everything else. So I'd love to see you guys there. If not, we'll let you know after our break where you can watch it and what you can do. So with that, we'll take our last break of the night, come back, do a quick wrap up, and talk about where they can maybe watch the game on Thursday night. So with that, see you back here in a few minutes.
We'd like to take a moment to thank all of our sponsors for making this show a possibility. Absolute Aluminum, E.T. McKenzie, All Pro Dads.
We'd also like to thank SCF, Douglas Jeep, and Suncoast Commercial Door and Hardware.
We'd also like to give a big shout out to Jenkins Chevrolet, a longtime sponsor of ours.
And we're back for the final part of our episode tonight of the John Peacock Coaches Show. And Coach, real quick, our show normally is on Thursday nights, but you can always catch our show here on different platforms. We have it on Vibrantaspectflorida Media on YouTube. You can watch it on Saturdays. So it's a lot of little things we do as far as where you can watch it.
It normally shows 7:30 on the Education Channel Thursday. At that time, Vibrant Aspects uploads it to YouTube, and then the Education Channel shows it again on Saturday mornings. But if you're watching now on the Education Channel, we're currently playing.
So with all that, so what you want to do too is if you guys are watching, you want to flip over to the game or any other time. We talked about the easiest way to get to the live streaming we do is through our website.
Yes.
And there's a link on our website that you click on, you go through, and you can get right to the place to go and watch the game. And then we're going to be live streaming every game we can possibly, all the home games, and then it all depends on what happens with an away team, if we can get the proper internet service and if they allow us to do it and all that stuff. So
this week should be good because they do have a hardwire internet service.
So we should be real good this week.
Yeah, and you can go to VeniceIndianFootball.org is our website.
Correct.
And you can just click the link, get the game, and I heard great reviews of how it turned out last week. So that's something that's I'm excited about for our fans and people that are out of town and grandmas and grandpas that can't come to the game. And
we'll be reminding you not only with our show, but we'll remind you on all the social media type things. We were on Twitter last week, getting people to, because a lot of people are on different social media places, Facebook and everything else. So we'll make sure that everybody knows where to go, time of everything, and we'll keep them updated on all that.
And it's great for the kids because it's really. You're gonna have we got color, we got a play-by-play guy, and it's kind of like watching it on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it's and excited. And as far as production value, as far as the Vibrant Aspect does a great job with the high definition. It is very well done, and it's a pleasure to be a part of it. That's for sure.
So that's something very exciting, for our team and our players and the family that can, even I think you can even if you missed last week's game, you can purchase it now and watch it as well.
So that's what that for sure. All right, with that, Coach, we're out of time tonight. Good luck on Thursday, and we'll see.
Hopefully we're up right now.
We're winning by a big margin. But with that, we appreciate again all of our sponsors, Off the Wagon, again for hosting us every week. With that, have a good evening. We'll see you next week on the John Peacock Coaches Show.